Davide Tardozzi just said the quiet part on the record. Marc Marquez has just swept an entire race weekend, and the man who runs the box still called this season a nightmare. Not off camera, not as a slip he wanted back. On the record, while his rider was collecting pole, the sprint, and the Grand Prix. One perfect weekend made it look, for 48 hours, like the old Ducati was back. Even after that sweep, Marquez sits 5th, 72 points behind an Aprilia. Their own team manager just told you the start of this season was a nightmare, the last thing he expected after a winter that looked perfect. So which version is real? The trophies or the confession? And what does Tardozzi see in this bike that the results are working so hard to hide? Here is why that one word matters. When a backmarker team panics, nobody blinks. When the benchmark team, the outfit that has won basically everything, lets its team manager say nightmare into a recorder, the standings are hiding something the people inside can already feel. Tardozzi is not a panicker. He is the steady voice in that garage, the one who manages the temperature when everyone around him loses theirs. For a man like that to reach for that word, the gap between how this season looks and how it actually feels has grown too wide to keep papering over. And the thing doing the papering has a name. That name is Marc Marquez. And in Hungary, he was untouchable. Pole position, win in the sprint, win in the Grand Prix, a clean sweep of everything on the table, the kind of weekend that is supposed to end every argument about whether a team is back. Go by the result sheet alone, and you walk away convinced Ducati has simply flicked a switch. So watch what Tardozzi did not do. He did not take the victory lap that result earned him. He did not point at those trophies and tell the doubters to be quiet. The one man with the most reason to celebrate that weekend is the same one who walked to a microphone and reached for the word nightmare. When the winning team's boss refuses to enjoy a clean sweep, that is not modesty. That is someone staring at something the scoreboard will not show you. So what is he staring at? Two things, and the first one was standing on the top step of the podium. Asked directly about that flawless weekend, Tardozzi would not let the results stand as proof of anything. The pole, the win, he said, does not mean Marc is at 100%. He is not at 100%. The boss watched his rider beat the entire field 3 times in 3 days, then concluded, out loud, that the man is still not fit. So the question stops being whether Marquez is winning and becomes how he is winning and what it is quietly costing him. Watch how he is doing it, and the cracks show even in victory. Over one flying lap, he is still the fastest man on the grid, which is how the poles keep coming. But the strength drains over race distance. When the laps stack up and the arm starts to empty out, he is not winning because he is healthy. He is winning because one lap of genius still beats everyone else's best. And here is the part most people skipped, because wins are easier to talk about than wiring. This was never a clean break that mends on a schedule. What hit Marquez was a compressed radial nerve in his right arm, and the cause is almost hard to believe. Old hardware from a shoulder operation he had back in 2019 had drifted over the years and started pressing on that nerve. 2 screws and a chip of bone, sitting inside him for the better part of 7 years, quietly strangling the arm he uses to wrestle a MotoGP bike. That is why nobody will give you a return date that holds. A bone heals when it heals. A nerve does whatever it wants. Marquez had surgery in Madrid, sat out Catalonia, climbed back on, and even now Tardozzi will only promise at least 1 more month, and maybe even 2. The reigning champion is sweeping Grand Prix weekends on an arm his own team admits may not be right until deep into the summer. Now stack the second problem on top, because the injury is only half of why Tardozzi reached for that word. Go back to February. At the Sepang test, 5 Ducatis finished inside the top 6, and Tardozzi, by his own admission, was sure it would be a nice year. That is the bar he has been judging this season against. Total control in winter. Then the racing started, and the bike that looked untouchable in Malaysia was suddenly not the fastest thing on the grid. The reason was not Ducati freezing in place. The reason was Aprilia. They did a huge step between Sepang and Thailand, Tardozzi admitted. and the word he chose for it was chapeau. The team manager of the most dominant team in the sport tipped his hat to a rival, in public, because they had genuinely outbuilt him over one winter. That distinction matters more than it sounds. Bad luck is a yellow flag at the wrong second. Getting outdeveloped is a rival finding lap time under the same rules that your own engineers could not. One is an accident. The other is a verdict on your factory, and Tardozzi picked the harder word on purpose. And this is where it stops being about one injury or one fast Aprilia. Put the two confessions side by side. The bike fell behind over the winter, and the only reason the standings hide it is that one hurt rider keeps dragging an imperfect motorcycle onto the top step anyway. That is not strength. That is a single point of failure wearing a champion's number. Then, Tardozzi said the line that should worry every Ducati fan. We cannot always rely on Marc's talent to compensate for our weaknesses. Say that one more time. The factory team's boss just called his own rider compensation for the bike, not the other way around. The machine is the problem. Marquez is the patch. And the proof sits in the other half of his garage. The same Ducati that Marquez sweeps weekends on is the bike MotoGP Bagnaia keeps fighting, openly struggling with tyre management, leaning too hard on the rear, unable to make it sing the way Marquez forces it to. Same machine. Bagnaia sits 7th, 91 points back. When the bike still flatters in one rider's hands and buries another, it has not been fixed. It has been carried. So here is the flip. People watched Hungary and decided Ducati is back. Hungary proved the opposite. It proved Ducati now needs a hurt Marquez, at his absolute best, just to look like the team it used to be by default. So let me be straight about what that sweep actually was. It was a mask, not a cure. Ducati did not solve its nightmare that weekend. It survived it the way it has all season, by spending the talent of a man racing on a damaged arm. The trophies are real. The recovery is not. And the danger is simple. A mask only works while everything behind it holds. The moment Marquez's body says no on a Sunday, or Aprilia turns one huge step into a second, there is no patch left. The standings stop flattering and start confessing exactly what Tardozzi already said out loud. That is the real story of this season. Not a team rediscovering its dominance, but a team renting it week to week from a hurt rider and a bike it has quietly stopped trusting. So when you watched Marquez sweep Hungary, did you see Ducati come back? Or one hurt man holding a cracked empire together a little longer? Tell me what you really saw. Let us know in the comments below. And once you do that, make sure to click on the video appearing on your screen right now.